Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and run my mouth and talk about the mess. Listen. So, Ashlee Braxton, I didn't even know Ashlee Braxton existed. I, Michael Braxton, which is Toni Braxton's, basically, we're talking about Toni Braxton's niece, the Toni Braxton, um, which is her brother. She has a brother named Michael, which is his daughter. I didn't know he had. I knew he had one daughter who passed away, but I didn't know he had another daughter. But anyways, so this is Ashlee Braxton. She, baby, baby. When I tell you one thing about Black people, girl, people, period. Okay. Um, Girl, what we can do, families, is keep some secrets. If we ain't good at nothing else, honey, we good for keeping what happened in the house in the house. So she basically came out and she told her story of a situation where she. So basically, this is what she said. She said when she was 16, Um, and if I can try to find the link to the TikTok, I'll put it in the description box so you can hear it for your with your own ears. But I took a few notes. She basically said that one of the aunts doesn't talk to her because she thinks she did something with her partner at the age of 16. So again, one of her aunts is not in communication with her because she feels as though when Ashlee was 16, she had an inappropriate relationship with her then husband. Um, I personally think that if a part of your healing journey is for you to come out and tell your story, then tell your story if that's going to help you heal, right? I do have something to say to add to that in a little bit, but I'll say that in a little bit. Um, so she said her stepmother basically found the conversation. She didn't necessarily say if it was text messages, if it was WhatsApp, Kick, Girl Team, emails. Girl, she didn't say. She just said that her stepmother was going through her phone and she found the conversation. And then the stepmother told her father. She said that her aunt was very supportive at first, and she was very kind, and she was there for her, and she apologized for that happening to her. But then she said years later, it basically changed, um, and the aunt, in a way, felt as though you know you're a part of the blame. Now, this is the thing. Can I say something? For me, this is just for me, baby. 16 years old is a child. I know in some states, depending on what you're talking about, they might say that you're legal. In some situations, if you're on trial for a certain situation, they may put you on trial as an adult, right? So depending on the situation, depending on the state, depending on what happened, you could be looked at as an adult. Okay? But in this situation, and girl, I was talking to one of my friends, and girl, I heard that it's even messier than this. They're supposed to be sending me the TikTok so I can listen to them, but I heard it's even messier than this. So I'm just gonna talk about this, and then once I get the other tea, I'll come back and tell y'all the rest of the tea. Um, but for me, a 16 years old, and then in this situation, again, I'm just talking about this situation. I, I'm not going to really bend on a grown man putting a 16-year-old in a situation, um, because it falls on the adult. Even if it got out that Ashlee initiated whatever conversation, because Ashlee's saying that nothing sexual happened, it was just conversation. Still inappropriate, but conversations, right? Even if it got out that Ashlee was the one who initiated the conversation, I would still say, wow, Ashlee, you might need to get popped, right? Because at 16, we do have to be honest, y'all. Even as children, excuse me, in some situations, you still know right from wrong. That's why you get pops when you're 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. That's why you get grounded, because you should know better. And if you don't, you're going to find out after you're grounded for a week. After I take your iPad away for the weekend, right? There'll still be consequences for bad behavior. However, I was still, even though I would say if Ashlee was the one who initiated the conversations with this man, it's still, in my opinion, it is still up to the adult to put an end to it. I'm sorry. Again, while yes, you can still be held accountable for your actions even as children, as an adult, it is on you to make sure that if something is happening that you know should not be happening, you go tell the mama, the daddy, ASAP. But in this situation, I feel as though this is what I feel based off what I heard. It sounds like it started with, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Okay. Um, and at this point, I'm like, well, who is she talking about? Of course. Now we're about to get into the mess, right? And I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm about to say. Initially, when I first heard about this story, the first person, people who popped in my head were the Braxton sisters. I think for the most part, even if you don't know who Ashlee is, like I didn't know who she was. Once I heard the story, I was like, is she talking about one of the Braxton sisters? Okay. Because I think a lot of folks' minds are going to initially go to like the famous ones, right? And then she said, this guy that was doing this to you on TV. So for me, that kind of narrowed it down to the Braxton sisters. She said in the video that she did not want to say anyone's name. Now this is where I have an issue with that. I don't think that anyone who has, you know, been in a situation where they were taken advantage of, they are a victim. I think that you should be able to tell your story. But I think that it is unfair for other people to have their name attached to something that they have absolutely nothing to do with. Let me give you an example. Christian Keys, the stunt queen of 2024. Was it 2023 or 2024? Y'all know Christian Keys, a light-skinned stunt queen. He came out and he told his story, and we all backed Christian up. And he said that it was a black billionaire who had put him in compromising positions. And I got down to my YouTube and I said, just wait a minute, sister. It ain't that many black billionaires. And I think he said black billionaires in Hollywood. One, it ain't a lot of black billionaires, period. Okay? And it definitely ain't a lot in Hollywood. So at this point, what people started to do, right, we started to create a list and say, well, girl, is it so and so? Is it so and so? Is it him? Is it him? Is it him? Girl, well, how many black billionaires is it? So now people who have nothing to do with what Christian Keys is talking about is being thrown into a mess and having things attached to their names, like basically being a predator. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair that Ashlee is telling her story. And now what's going to happen is the Braxton sisters and the men that they are married to, were married to at that time, they're going to have this attached to their name. I could not imagine waking up and hearing, well, girl, you know they say your name is being thrown out there because so and so said that something happened to her, but she don't want to say her name, and you know you ain't did nothing. Because let's just call a thing a thing. Either it's gonna be Gabe, which was Trina's husband. It's gonna be Andre or Andrew, whatever his name was, which was Tawanda's husband. Either it's gonna be Vince and his big ass tongue, which was Tamar's husband. If Tony was married at the time, you see what I'm saying? So it's not a lot of men that you can really choose from. It's only one. So I think for people, a lot of folks, what I've seen online is a lot of us, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, a lot of us think that I'm not gonna speak for everybody. The first person I thought about, I'm just gonna tell y'all, was Trina and Gabe. That's who I thought about. That's the first person who I thought about was Trina and Gabe. And then I was like, well, what if it's not Trina and Gabe? What if it's Vincent Tamar? And I was like, what if it's Tawanda and what if it was Tawanda and her? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so now we start to go down this rabbit hole of who it could be. I think it's one thing for something to happen to you, unfortunately, and you say something happened to me in college, and at that point, we really can't put that on anyone's shoulders. But I think that when you kind of get specific in what you're saying, and people start to pinpoint certain stuff on people, I think that's when it becomes problematic. I do. And I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. I'm not victim blaming. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be able to tell her story. But I just think it's unfair to people who are now being put in the middle of something that they have absolutely nothing to do with. Let me say, don't nobody want to wake up and say that you took advantage of a 16-year-old. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants that. Nobody want to wake up and have to go to work and girl, it's a story all on the Shade Room Neighborhood Talk of Tony Braxton's niece saying that girl, one of the husbands, it was inappropriate with her, and then they talking about, well, girl, could it be so and so? Could it be so and so? Could it be so and so? No, 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 no. For some reason, again, I think it's Trina and Gabe. Again, I don't know. Now, let me say this. Whoever it is, I think it's raggedy as fuck that it sounds like you could have at the time still stayed with the nigga. I don't like that. Because again, for me, 16 is still a child, and any grown ass man or woman who is now putting a 16-year-old in that type of position, baby, off with your head. Off with your head. Because you know better. You know better. And if you don't, you're going to know better by the end of today. What else did she say? She said, I didn't ask for that. Now, this is where I was like, girl, Are they about to start a new season for the Braxtons? Because Miss Thing said, right now she doesn't live in the U.S. She lived in Paris, I think, for like 4 or 5 years, and now she lives in Barcelona. That's what I could. Can I, girl? Just a girl. I was like, girl, I've never really thought about moving out of the U.S. Well, I have, but not like this thought about like I wonder how would it feel to like live in Paris or live. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, girl, it's this young black girl. Because right now she's 32. So this happened when she was 16. So I think she said she's 32 now. And I was like, girl, how? Like, that has to be amazing to kind of like be free and say, girl, not only am I moving, girl, I'm moving out of the country, girl, by myself to a whole nother part of the world. That has to be like a fun, like exciting feeling. Scary, but still kind of exciting. Anyways, but she said she's coming back to the U.S. next year to confront a lot of things. She said, I'm coming back to the U.S. next year to confront a lot of things. Now, in my opinion, when I heard her telling her story, it wasn't any type of malice. Um, uh, it wasn't any. I just did. I felt like she was just telling her story. But again, I've already told you the part that I disagree with 1,000%. That's just how I feel about it. But I still think that it's wrong for whoever this aunt is to basically you want to just cut off communication with your your niece, and if if I don't know if it is Gabe, okay, girl, you want to cut off communication with your niece, but you want to be crying over that nigga when he passed away. And I know that death is death. Death is death. And that was a man who basically raised her kids. But how you cut off communication with your niece though, but still stay with the man? I want to know who it is. Was it Vince? You see what I'm saying? We don't know. We don't know. We can guess. We can assume, but we don't know. I don't like that. Anyways, like I said, girl, there are a lot of other things that she talked about. From what I was told, I haven't listened to the videos, but it sounds like Miss Thing was raised. Girl, I don't, girl, quiet as this kept. Can we be honest, girl? I don't know if Miss Thing was raised or if she grew up. Some of the girls don't. Some of the girls ain't raised. They just grow up. That's the sad. That's sad, but yeah, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Come and talk about Ashlee Braxton, and yeah. So hopefully, if she comes, well, not hopefully, when she comes back to the country, there may have to be some hard conversations. I don't know if this is going to play out on television. Girl, I don't know how this will be. This is pretty deep. You know what I'm saying, girl? Like, I mean, girl, y'all, this is the thing, girl. Y'all want to give reality TV, then give reality TV. You know what I'm saying? The girls scream they want reality, but I come to realize that people really don't want reality. They just want a whole bunch of like fluff and like maybe like like salaciousness. But when it comes to like real deep stuff that's too heavy, they don't like that. So yeah. I think they just want to like they want to watch. I think some people want to watch reality, and I get it because nobody wants to turn on their TV and be sad and crying. That was one of the hard things about the Braxtons this last season. While I felt like it was while I felt like it was reality TV, it was a little heavy because it was hard to get through those first few episodes because it was about Tracy and they were crying and Trina was crying. It was just a mess. So I get it. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody wants to be watching TV just crying all day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, hopefully she can get everything situated. And I want to know who it was. Who do y'all think it was? Do y'all think it was Gabe and Trina? Do y'all think it was Vince Tamar? Do y'all think it was Tawanda and her man? And Tony and Carrie, whatever his name is? Who was the other one? Do you think it was Tracy and Kevin? I don't know. I don't know. And that's what I don't like. And the reason why I don't like it is because can we just, and I don't want to sound insensitive, you have now put us into the group chat. So of course, when you've added us to the group chat, we are going to have questions. Okay. All right, y'all. One thing that I forgot to mention is that um, for the husbands or the ex-husbands, I don't really know what's going on with Vince. I'm sure, I guess he still lives in Los Angeles. Vince is Tamar's ex-husband, Tamar Braxton, and then Tawanda, she's engaged now, but I don't know what happened to her ex-husband or boyfriend. I think husband, Andre. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what's going on with what was his name? Tony's ex-husband. What's his name? Lewis. I forget. I can't remember his name, girl. But the only one, basically, Gabe, which is Trina's ex-husband, he has passed away. He had cancer, so he unfortunately died. I almost said something, girl. He died um, some years ago. So yeah, I just wanted to add that little extra part to it, um, because if it is Gabe, I mean, girl, let me shut up. All right, I'm gone. I just want to add that.